What's up, YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. Chuck is getting a bit of a makeover and we're putting Jamie to work. He's back in again today, just because he's got some time for it and whatnot. Chuck is my Boxford AUD lathe. I don't know how long I've had him actually. Yeah, it is quite a while actually. But basically, he was a three-phase machine, and when I got him as scrap, the fella he'd already got a single-phase motor, which we were told could be wired single-phase or three-phase. And Jamie being in the industry and stuff, he's got loads of stuff kicking about. So essentially, we're sticking an inverter in it. Is that right? The trouble that we've got is trying to run it on the higher speeds or the really, really slow speeds. We just lose all the torque because it's single phase, it's not three phase. So with a little bit of trickery and, you know, Jamie working his magic and stuff, hopefully he's going to get a little bit of torque back. But he does have his guts pulled out and it's all over the bench, as you can see.
We'll test it on the bench.
And we test it on a bench. Yeah. That's just going to walk itself off the bench and on the floor, isn't it?
You can hold it down with your hands.
Oh, right, here we go. I've got a G-clamp. That'll be fine. Be fine. Right, other stuff that's going on. I need to make a thing. I'll get a picture and stick it up so you can see what's what. Basically, I've got a piece of alley. I need to make a thing basically to connect the brake lever to the rear brake master cylinder. So I've CAD'd up this thing and I've done a drawing. It's quite a simple thing. I was going to do it on the lathe. Well, you know, obvious issues there at the minute, but I wouldn't have been able to do all that bit on the lathe. I could only offset that. So essentially I need to do it all on the mill, but that's where I come across another problem, because it all needs to be done on a rotary table, but it's going to be a really small thing. There's no way I'm clamping that in place. So that needs to go into a vise, but it also needs to spin 360, and basically I get to there and it boshes on the back. So I've sent a mate at work a quick email. I've got a toolmaker's vise coming anyway. You know, just a little one that I can clamp to this and do small parts and stuff instead of having to use the big vise, because you suddenly start running out of tooling room and all that sort of stuff. So I've got one coming, but in here yet. So I've had a chat with matey at work to see if he's got one I can borrow for a day just so I can get this done, because then that's all the rear set sorted apart from heel guards, and I don't really care about heel guards, not at the minute. Crispy just have to watch his feet when he runs it up on the dyno. So today, tomorrow, I kind of, if I can, I want to get all this lot done. I don't really know, because I need to crack on for the weekend with chomping out that little bit extra of frame and getting onto the exhaust. That's what I really want to be doing, if I'm honest. Not cocking about with all this. Right, it is now Thursday. The week is getting away from me again. I've had loads of bits and pieces turn up. I'm hoping this is for Chuck. Where's my thing? Where's my thing gone? Oh, that'll do. Chuck is, this is an upgrade that we've been planning on Chuck, well, pretty much since he was commissioned. The problem that we've got, I can't remember if I said it the other day, is it was basically bought with scrap, and the fella was gonna sort of get him going again, and he got a single phase 230 volt motor, just because he never got around to fixing him up basically. Please do the thing. Yes, it's awesome. So basically I had him, we used that 230 volt single phase motor to get him going, and he goes and he does do quite well, it has to be said. Him and Brian is just my pride and joy, they absolutely are. The thing is that if you try and run it on the fast speed, or even more so on the slower speeds, it just doesn't have the torque to keep it going at a sensible rate, or even a continued rate. If you speed it up and then take a cut, as you start taking the cut, the whole thing just sort of slows down. It really needs 3-phase, and I haven't got 3-phase in here. So when I was chatting with Matt and Jamie, Matt originally wired it all in and just got it going for me. But I can only really use those 2 speeds, which isn't ideal. Because what happens is, if you start off on a big bit, then the travel speed, the surface of the thing that you're trying to sort of skin down or whatever, is actually quite high. And as it gets smaller, obviously the speed decreases and your finishes change and everything else. And I've been mucking about with tooling, trying to get the best finishes that I can, when ideally what I want to do is to run it faster and just have a slower feed rate. So this is an upgrade that's been planned for quite a while, and this is the last bit of it. I'll stick this over here just for the minute. But essentially he's getting an upgrade to his motor, and we're running an inverter on it as well. So essentially using 230 volts, I can run it as 3-phase and get that torque back. And it's like frequency modulated and all that sort of stuff, so it'll be quite good. This is something that I've dipped into the Patreon fund for, just because it adds to the workshop. It lets me do better stuff, and that's what the Patreon stuff is all for. I've also had some other deliveries. This is a very big box. Just for a piece of threaded board. This is something that I'm doing for me and John Allen. And that's the start of it, basically. He should go in there. Yes, he does. Awesome. Basically, I'm making a couple of... I haven't got one, and he wants one, but I'm making a couple of fork spring compressors. So it's easy enough to knock out. I was just waiting on that threaded bar to get done. And then we've also got this, which is from Digital Speedos. Oh, you're joking. Right. Oh, don't tell me. Yes. Right, okay. No, that's all right. That's fine. More of... I'm not going to show you that now. I'll do that when we do the midweek update. But it's here. Right, so I've got stuff everywhere again, as usual. But I want to get this thing done. Right, let me show you this. Right, I borrowed this from work. I've got one of these like ages and ages ago. I think when I first got the rotary table off Martin, I ordered one of these and the bloody thing didn't come in time, so I ended up borrowing one. It's basically just a tool maker's vice. But I ended up borrowing one, got the job done, and then completely forgot about it. And now I need it again. It's like, oh, I ordered one of those, and I went and checked. I phoned up and given them a rocket. Oh, very, very sorry, we'll get it sent out to you right now. Please have a discount. Oh, okay, go on then. But my big vice is too big to go on here, and it doesn't clear the back of the machine. This rotary table is absolutely mega. It weighs about 40 kilos. It's heavy as hell. The whole machine is like just over 2 ton or something. It's all one solid cast piece. So, you know, rigidity and all that stuff really isn't an issue. But clearance sometimes is if you're trying to put your big vice on here and do a full 360. So this is the way to go. And I should be able to clamp it like that, I think. As far as milling goes, I mean, what I'm trying to make, this thing up here, is a tiny little stupid thing. It's going to be less than that. Quite a lot of that is going to be disappearing. And you can make little stuff on a bigger machine. You can't do it the other way around. You can't make big stuff on a little machine easy. That's why we ended up with him. So, let me get set up, which is going to take me a minute or two, and then we'll go from there. Right, so he's locked off. Right, we're all set. This is a bit sketchy. The table is as far down as it will go, and the problem we've got is that's the only space I've got for tooling. So it's going to be interesting. We might be switching the tooling out as we get down a bit. I don't really know. He's zeroed. He's unlocked. What we're going to do is essentially imagine this bit is pointed up. So what I'm going to do is, instead of turning it round on the lathe, I've got to mill it round on the mill, basically. Then we're just going to work our way down and we'll see how we go. Start off with, I think we're going to be all right there. I think it's going to be a little bit offset, but I don't really care because I'm shaving it all off. Start off with, we're just going to skim the top off. I've got 5mm of extra material to play with, and I've only got 5mm in the jaws. So it was a little bit sketchy, but we should be all right, I think. So let's give this a go and see how we end up. What did I lock that off for? I need to move it, you goon. Oh, my peepers, where are they gone? Right. Found them. Ideally, I would have started by doing my holes, but I can't get a drill bit in there. We just have to do them later on. Right then. Oh, that didn't work. Started doing my thing. As you can see, where are you? So you can see I started milling out that shaft, that bit there. As soon as you do the plunge cut, I haven't got enough engaged in the vise. The only thing I can really do is to cut longer a bit, do away with the parallels and shove it all the way down the throat of the thing. And we'll have another go. I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is rather than starting in the middle and doing a slot, essentially, I'll start on the outside and work my way in, I think, is going to be the way to do it. What a pain. Right, okay. Let's give that a go then. Right, this is taking a lot longer than what I thought it was going. I thought I would have it done by now. It's now 12:30. I need to tip off to my work, so I'll be back. Never mind, that'll be fine. Right, we've had minor mishap. Minor mishap. The inverter that we had, it is the inverter, isn't it? You said? The inverter on the lathe is basically goosed. There seems to be a direct short between live and earth. We turned it all on. There was a bit of a flash, quite a loud bang, and all the trips went, and they also went in the distribution shed as well. So it has got a problem. We need to get another one. So we get all that sorted and we get him up and running, but he ain't going to be up and running today. All the motor and the wiring and everything else is all back into it. It's just that one little box of tricks. He's knackered. So we need to get another one. As far as the milling goes, that's been interrupted by a couple of power outages. But we're cracking on with it. It's going. The approach I'm using seems to be working. I'm certainly getting the shape that I was expecting to get. I just need to mill it down, flip it over, dress the top up and put some holes in it basically. So anyway, it is now 12:30. I need to tip off to my work, but I'll be back. Right, we're done. All bar a little bit of cleaning up with the needle file. But this should be it, finished. I didn't do an intro for the Saturday bit because it's now Saturday, by the way. I didn't do an intro for that because I'm fed up with just getting distracted with all sorts of stuff. So I just got on with it. But basically, where's it? That last setup was sketchy as hell. Like, properly sketchy. I think we're in here. Right, I need a brew. I made the thing, look. There's still a little bit of tidying up and stuff to do. It's probably all going to get a brush finish. Ooh, hello. Right, this is what I've done. So that's my thing. So it's got like a radius bit in there and all the ends is rounded off. That's threaded for an M6 screw, and it's got, what, about 25 mil, sorry, 20 mil, no, 25 mil depth of thread. So I've got some nice stainless button heads coming for that, but that's what I've made. And essentially, I think it just looks better than that. That's it, it's the only reason for doing it. Stupid little thing, you're not even going to see it anyway. I'll move him, because I will drop a nut in it. So the idea is that he is going to go on like that. Shove another washer on the bottom. and then the nut. I'm going to have to cut this thread down a bit. I don't like it all sticking out the bottom, but I'm not going to do that until we set the lever where I want it and blah de blah de blah. Come on, go on. Oh, just go on. It's been a long day. Right, there we go. So we can go on like that. Ish. Wherever. And then this will go in there. With a little bit of luck. Oh, why have I tied that up? Where's my cutters? Don't need that anymore. I wanted to get this done just so it's not flopping about on the dyno and just causing grief. This button head is a little bit on the short side. The ones that are coming are longer, so I've got some 30mm one coming, so that'll basically take up all the thread there is in here. And it'll leave it all nice and snug there. So he's going to go like that. He's going to nip up like that. And then I'll just have the bottom off here. I might even put a dome head on the bottom. That could look quite good if I get a stainless dome head. Like that. That'll do. That'll do a treat. It's all nice and straight that way. It's all nice and straight that way as well. He'll do. He'll do a treat. Right, it has been a really long week, it has to be said. Like a really long week. The bits that you see on YouTube whatnot is me just mucking about with bikes. However, this is my little business. There is stuff that has to go on in here as well. Plus we've also got Jamie in mucking about with the lathe and getting all that stuff sorted. So there is stuff everywhere. There's quite a lot of housekeeping that needs doing. And there's just all this stuff in the background that you just never get to see. So I thought, well, I'll show you whilst I'm doing a thing, and that way you get to see quite how much time I do get to do stuff. Because it isn't as much as I would like, it has to be said. All this lot needs to go away. Bits of chuck. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, the van. The mass airflow sensor's gone. So I've got another one of them coming as well now. What went in there? Oh yeah, I remember. So yeah, it's just being stupid. Like you turn it on, and it fires up. It runs for like 20 seconds, and it goes, yeah, I'm not having that, and it just stops again. And then you've got to sit there, turning the key, turning the key, turning the key. After about 10 goes, it catches and it fires, and it's all happy. But I borrowed one of those little fault code plug in and it tells you what's wrong with it sort of thing. Jamie had one, so he let me borrow it, plugged it in, and the mass airflow sensor is reading nothing. And you sort of need that. So yeah, he's coming. I'm hoping it's going to be here this week. I don't really know. I've got some other stuff coming, like some stainless fixings and bits and doodads and stuff like that. There is some stuff to go through on the catch up, which will probably be like next Tuesday or I don't know, something like that. Oh, that's a good brew. So there is quite a lot going on. Whilst I've got the back end out of this, I think the next job is just going to be to make that little cutout for the chain run just a little bit bigger. Yeah, it don't need to be much, it ain't going to take long. And then we can crack on with the exhaust. The Dark Lord Fuzzy Butt does have one of those MotoGP looking can things, which he said I could have. I'm hoping, I'm thinking about it, and I'm hoping I don't have to run them. If I do, then I'm probably going to end up welding it to whatever link pipe it is that I'm going to use, purely because of the support side of stuff. I want the support to come off the back end of the footrest hanger. I don't want anything coming down from the seat, and it just all depends on angles and stuff. So sooner I get that, the better. But you know, weather's all been a bit poo and you know, all that sort of stuff. So we might have to wait for that one, but we've got the other one to crack on with. So anyway, Brian is in a right state. The whole shop is. I need a massive tidy up. So he's going to get a bit of a spritz up and stuff and put to bed. Next week I've also got another busy week coming up. Like I said, this is my own little business, so I've got my end of year accounts to do. Which, well, I hate doing accounts at the best of times, but it needs doing because I need to get it in. So a couple of days I'm going to be doing that. And then we just crack on and get done whatever we can get done and move on and do the next thing. That'll be good, won't it? That'd be great. But anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it for this one. Thank you ever so much for watching. I do hope you are staying safe. We'll see you on the next one. Laters!